Hi, I'm Kanchan. I'm going to talk about our internship and graduate program. Um, so CSG is one of the largest business support solutions provider, and we have our headquarters in the US, and we have a global client base. In Brisbane, we have a large R&D team that focuses on software development for two of our product suites, which is SingleView and Ascendant. We'll be talking more about these products in a later session today at around 12:30. So we work with a variety of software and technologies, including C#, Java, C++, AWS, Docker, and many more. So we are looking for talented software developers to join our summer and winter internship programs. Usually these internship programs lead to graduate positions. So if you're passionate about software development and studying an equivalent degree, please reach out to us. Details on how to apply are here and as well as posted on the chat window. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask, and welcome to the booth, Mansi and Akansha. Did you have any questions or anything else you would like to know about our internship and grad program?
Yeah, hello, good afternoon.
Hi.
So do you have any roles other than software development in IT field?
No, not at the moment. So we are looking just for software developers.
Okay, any upcoming opportunity?
Yes, so we have summer internships applications open now, and which usually leads to the graduate role. At the moment, we don't have any opportunities, but if you keep looking at the careers page on our website, that's where we usually announce our opportunities, or on LinkedIn and Seek and different job portals.
Okay, thank you.
So what were you studying, Mansi?
I'm studying Master of IT and
Okay.
I'm majoring in business analysis.
Okay. So Akansha, did you have any questions at all for us? What are you studying? Yeah, I hope you can hear me, Akansha. You can type your question here.
So Akansha, his microphone is not working and he's typed in a question. I had a question about your recruitment for international students. Do you guys require a PR?
So PR is permanent residency, is that right? Yeah. So we don't require a permanent residency as for the internships, but of course, if you can have that bridging visa and get permanent residency when we hire you as a grad, that would work. So I guess as being on a student visa, you can work during your vacations, and that's when we offer our internships. So we've had quite a lot of international students intern with us in the past. I hope that answers your question.
Do we want to continue with this Q&A or start on the internship and graduate slides?
I think she's got just one more question. I'll answer that and then we can move on. So she's asking, I'm currently in my last semester. So do you have any programs that I can join now? So would that mean that you would be finishing in December, I guess? So you could definitely apply for our summer internship. So you can send your resume to the email address provided. Okay, Saskia, do you want to start?
Yeah, definitely. If we can go to the next slide. Thanks, Sebastian. So welcome to this presentation that goes into a bit more depth on what the experience and journey is like as an intern or graduate at CSG. You'll firstly be hearing from me about my experience as an intern. Next slide. I'm a uni student currently at QUT here in Brisbane, studying software engineering. And I completed the internship last summer and I've continued on working with Ascendon. And we also have Sebastian, who will just introduce himself.
Hi, my name's Sebastian. I am a Scrum Master on our single view product, and I joined as a graduate in 2017, in December actually. So, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So I'll give a quick overview of the internship. It was 3 months over summer of full-time paid work. I was working with my team. If we can go to the next slide, thank you.
Yep.
Was working with my team on feature work and defects and learning about the huge enterprise scale systems that I was now helping to build and maintain, and learning about the company more broadly in terms of our leadership and structure and initiatives and all of that. I was getting some great experience with DevOps and Agile in the real world outside of your uni theory that they try and teach you, and had a lot of growth in my confidence and skills, and also received a lot of support and mentorship. Next slide. I'll talk a little about how I found the work and the development side of it. So the main point that I want to make is that I was never confined to specific intern projects that were never going to go anywhere. And I was treated like a real developer and member of the team. I obviously had a lot of learning to do, but I did that by doing. So started on lower priority work that the team wasn't relying on, but turned out to be really useful nonetheless. And that helped me to get my hands dirty and begin to see and understand the other tasks that the team was focusing on, and then get an idea of the whole picture so that I could then move on to helping with defects and feature work myself. I was really well involved in Scrum events. So I think I did a demo in my very first sprint review. And I found that retros were a great opportunity for me to reflect and share with the team how I thought I was going and how they thought I was going, discuss areas where I needed more support or things I was proud of, which really helped to keep us all aware of what level I was performing at, which I think is really helpful in an internship when you're there for only a limited amount of time, that everyone's aware of, I guess, your capabilities. And for other meetings too, like communities of practice and feature handovers, the Scrum Master of my team always made sure that I knew what they were about and could be included. And finally, there was a lot of open communication and good team dynamics to help me identify the work that I was both naturally more experienced in and comfortable with, as well as exposing me to new things, to find other areas that I was interested in pursuing. Next slide. Onto how I was supported. My team was naturally a very big part of how comfortable and supported I felt during my internship. They were excited to have me and always had positive attitudes to the work I was doing, even though I'm sure at times it wasn't that impressive. We had good chances to get to know each other and make work fun. And so it always felt really inclusive and friendly. Also had lots of chances for feedback and guidance and to be shaped by those around me. I could just expand on that a lot, but I guess, you know, both in terms of their styles of code, but also how they, their work practices and yeah, all of that. For me, it's important to have people that I can look up to and, you know, picture myself in their shoes one day. And half of my team are women, which is really empowering for me. And you can see people from diverse backgrounds all around the company, which I think is something to be really proud of. managers as well are really supportive. We have regular fortnightly catch-ups. Towards the end of my internship, we did a mock quarterly employee review, and it was clear that they were always available and supportive, and learned a lot through them about other aspects of the company and work that I guess I don't get to consider normally doing dev work. Cool, next slide. So yeah, I'll just go over some of my outcomes quickly. Overall, it was a really incredible opportunity to improve my coding skills, and obviously I'm still continuing to do that, as well as my skills in communication and task management, my experience with Agile, and was working on many aspects of a diverse application. And so I gained skills in many areas that I wouldn't have otherwise been aware of, and that's already been influencing my university subjects and the things I want to focus on in the future. So it gave me a lot of exposure to things that I hadn't previously. Obviously the general experience of getting familiar with a company and working in an office and seeing if the things you learn in uni can actually be applied is really invaluable. And I think I'll hand over to Sebastian now to tell you more about the graduate program, which is something that the internship can lead on to. And if you have any questions about the internship, we'll have some time for that afterwards.
Thanks, Saskia. So I was really an intern in the 2017 winter internship in the middle of the year. And then when I graduated at the end of the year with a computer science degree from QT, I joined as a graduate. So I'll be talking about my experience in my graduate role and where it took me today as a Scrum Master on a team on our single view product. So in the first couple of months of my graduate position, my manager came to me and asked me where I wanted to go with my career and what I wanted to be. And at the time, I was really interested in Scrum and Agile practice, and I thought being a Scrum Master would be a really fulfilling position. So that's why I told him. And we sat down and we created a development plan which would take me from where I was then as a graduate all the way to where I am now as a Scrum Master and all the steps I needed to take to get there. And one of those steps was fortnightly one-on-one coaching with one of the senior Scrum Masters. And we talked about a lot of different stuff in those sessions, from basic Agile principles all the way up to more advanced topics. And I still do those today, and they're really, really valuable. I'm really glad I got to do those. That eventually led into me facilitating some of the team events within my team. So we have daily stand-up. I facilitated a couple of those. Sprint review as well. I got to facilitate those, and then I received feedback from my Scrum Master. So I was receiving two different sets of feedback, which provided two different perspectives, and that was really good and really accelerated my growth and really developed those foundational skills that I needed to be a Scrum Master. And I also got to attend the Scrum Master community practice. So that's where all the Scrum Masters and other interested parties get together and we discuss how we use Agile at CSG. At least for the Brisbane and Bangalore offices, and sometimes we get some really interesting conversations and results out of that. So I was really glad to be part of that community, and I still am. So this eventually led on to being a Scrum Master in a more full-time capacity. So occasionally my Scrum Master would go on vacation leave, and I would step in and I would be the Scrum Master of the team while they're away. And one of those opportunities was during our 3-month dev planning. So we essentially, every 3 months, we sit down and we plan out what features we're going to do and when we're going to complete them during that 3-month period. So I got to lead the team through that process and then present the plan to the R&D organization. Along the way, I also had to do a bunch of touch points, so represent the team in various forums. And I also had to work closely with our product owner, who sets the priority of all the features we're going to do. And as a Scrum Master, it's my job to help the team deliver the most value against those priorities. So there's usually a bit of back and forth there, and I have to negotiate that situation. But all those experiences were really great, which leads into more recent times. So about a year ago, we created a new team here in the Brisbane office, and I was charged of being the Scrum Master of that team. And that's been a really rewarding experience. I get to lead the team through a bunch of stuff. I've been doing that for about a year now, and that's been really, really great. And the team's done some really high-profile work, and that seems to be a trend that's continuing. We're doing our 3-month planning again right now, and it looks like my team's going to pick up 3 of the 4 highest priority features for this next 3 months, which is really great. It's really awesome to work on like such a high priority and wide variety of work. I also got an opportunity to shape how the organization does things, at least in our R&D segment. So when we went remote, it became obvious that our planning process wasn't going to work in a remote environment. So I got to work with another one of our product owners to sort of figure out that process and figure out how we would do planning in a remote environment. And that worked out really well, and we're still using that process today. So it was really cool to be a part of that organizational change. And on a more personal note, I'm actually currently getting certified as a Scrum Master. So that's really cool to, I guess, validate those skills that I have in a more certified way, which is really cool. And that's a really brief glimpse of my journey at CSG and Saskia's journey as an intern. And it's a glimpse of what your experience could be if you become an intern at CSG and then eventually go on to be a graduate.